Hello, everybody. It's Friday, and I'm going to grab Shelly and go live. And we've actually got Daniel Mckinnon with us today as well. So let me see if I can just grab. Should be a good talk.
Hey,
There
Skye.
you are. Hello.
Hello, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing really good. I'm so excited that today we're going to have Daniel on. We're going to
I
talk.
know. So am I. So am I. Let me see here if we can. Okay, I can't see him yet. So, how's your week been?
Wow, it's been amazing. Very busy. I had lots of interviews, lots of shows. Yeah.
Yeah, so you've got a new show I saw.
Yes. Was it the one? Which one was it? I don't remember.
It's the all I know is it's being streamed to Apple TV and
Oh,
Roku.
yeah.
Is that? Yeah, what's that about?
Yeah, so I did it with these incredible people. Their channel is called Spiritually Raw, and they're not raw vegans, but they just talk a lot about like spiritual topics and stuff like that. And I just did it yesterday, and it was live. And yeah, I'm gonna share it. They're gonna put it on their YouTube soon. But yeah, we were talking a lot about like what's gonna happen in the future on Earth. I shared my raw food story as well. Um,
Oh,
a lot of incredible topics. Yeah, so really
oh,
excited all of you guys.
excellent. All right, hang on. I'll see if Daniel's here and I will grab him
Okay, I think he's
and he
here.
can join us.
Hmm.
Hi.
Hey, hello.
Hi, Daniel.
Hi.
How are you?
It's really good. I'm having actually a really good day. So it's
Oh,
actually warm here for the first time in about a year. So
wow. What's the temperature?
it's have to be about 80 at least. 80
Wow, okay,
Celsius,
so
30 degrees Celsius, 80 Fahrenheit.
wow.
It's
So
amazing.
Yeah,
there's
Where
no
so it's
snow.
warm. Yeah, well,
Yeah.
there's still snow up in the mountains, so you can just look up and see it. And it's melting really slowly because it's been just such a cold year. And we had
Oh,
record-breaking snowfall this winter.
It's amazing.
well, good for snowboarding.
Oh yeah, it's awesome for snowboarding. Yeah, definitely.
Wow. Where are you
Oh,
located?
good.
I'm in Banff, Alberta, Canada. So not only is it pretty far north, but it's actually very high up as well. So it
Wow.
stays pretty cold here all year round. I mean, we're lucky to get a day like this. 30 degrees is completely unheard of up here. We're lucky to
Seriously.
break like 22 degrees. So
Is
Wow.
it
yeah,
just a one-off? Is it just like a one-off day you're having?
we'll get maybe 3 or 4 days like this a year.
Okay.
Yeah, but it stays cool because it's pretty high. If we go east, maybe about an hour, it warms up. So,
Mm,
See, I
nice.
yeah.
think of 30 degrees and I think of sunbaking, but you obviously still get to snowboard if the mountains still have snow. Is that right?
Yeah, well, there's snow in the mountains. It takes them a while to melt, and it's been so cold that the snow hasn't been melting, and there's just a lot of it, so it's still there. So I can always go hike and find snow in the summer, which I always do.
Good for
So,
you.
yeah.
Awesome.
Awesome. Well, I'm glad that you joined us. The first
Yeah,
thing
me too.
I wanted to talk to you about is I saw on one of your stories, you as well, with all the foods that you make and the foods you pick, you also feel like the energy of foods, or you feel drawn to certain foods when you shop and when you create. How does that work for you?
Absolutely. I mean, I'll just walk into a grocery store and my eyes will zero in on certain foods. And I'll just be like, yeah, I need to make something with this, this, and this. And I can usually look at three different types of foods or three different types of vegetables and then figure out exactly what other flavors I need to put in it to complement them. So, and it's just my eyes pick up on it. My eyes really tell me what I need for the day. And then I
Was
just
it all was it always like that? Were you like, sorry, maybe you should start with how you became a raw vegan.
Yeah, well, so I was vegan first. Basically, how did it really start? It was actually so long ago. Um, I think I was just eating regular food. It started when I was about
Yeah.
19, turning 18, well, maybe even 21, 22. But I think I started getting introduced to the idea of eating healthy around 19, and I'd had a few vegan friends, but it was really around the age 21, 22. So it's been about 20 years now. And yeah, just certain friends got me into it, really. I met a couple vegan friends, and I'd always go eat with them, and I'd always feel really good after I ate with them. And I've always been an animal lover to begin with, so I was eating with my friends, feeling good from the food, and one day I just made the decision. I just said I'm not going to eat animals anymore. And it's kind of funny because when I made that decision, I got flooded with loving energy, just positive, super bright energy. It was kind of funny because I was in a car driving across Canada. So I was driving past a small town, and I looked into looked at the mall that had a food court in it, and I just decided, for some reason, right then and there, I'm vegan. I know it's kind of a strange
Wow.
story, but yeah. So I felt the actual rush from like I felt a food rush as soon as I made that decision, which is really strange. So it was the decision that triggered. I don't know what it was. It was probably some sort of serotonin release or just some sort of spiritual, like it felt like a shower. It felt like a shower of like just positive, loving energy. And it's because I knew that I was vegan at that point, and I was so excited. I was like, yes, I get to be vegan. So I don't know if anyone else has had an experience like that, just like
Yes.
making the decision in their mind. Because you eat the vegan food and you get the rush, you get a huge rush of positive energy.
You
And
sure
then,
do.
I felt the
yeah,
same way. Yeah, amazing.
Do you guys ever think that something like where you said the serotonin rush, it's almost like the serotonin or the dopamine even is like the gift we get that we're supposed to get from rewarding our body. Like, I mean, the gift is the food, but the extra gift, when we say, you know, the spiritual feeling or the awakening, it's almost like it feels to me that that's another gift on top of it, like the gift that keeps
yeah,
on giving from raw foods or even just vegan
absolutely.
food.
And I think that gift and that energy also has a lot to do with the healing properties of just the vegan lifestyle and raw vegan food. Because I don't
Oh,
think
for
it's just
sure.
because it couldn't be the food alone. I mean, the food helps, and you know, maybe it could be the food alone, but to me, it seems like it's that decision to be compassionate and to not be killing animals. I think that's part of the reward and part of the the healing process. But it's something that a lot of people seem to kind of miss out on. Because I do, like, I'm sure you guys too, probably have people asking you how they can get all the healing but still have turkey once in a while. And usually I just have to tell them, like, I think that there's something extra, surrounding the whole aura of compassion and love that really heals our body.
Look,
So,
I think it was Natalie Portman that said she's a vegan, and she said eating animals is everything that is wrong with this world. And I really think that there's a truth to that. Like you are a reflection of what you put in. Like what you put in, you get out. And I
mhm.
really think that I think it would almost be a utopia if everyone was just eating vegan. Like I think that shift alone, it doesn't even have to go to raw straight away. I just think that
No,
shift of the connection. See, I was so sick. I didn't do it for the animals, but very, very quickly as I got well, the connection I felt to animals was like I never knew. So it's why I always think it's a gift that keeps on giving. And it's not just the nutrients from the food. I mean, as we spoke about last week, you could just eat tablets if that was it. But there's something about, we're supposed to live in harmony with these living beings.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So
There are
yeah,
friends.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Yeah.
It really changes. So the way for me was, I mean, as I just said, I was, not eating. I mean, I was doing it for my health, but it was amazing how connected you feel to even like leaves and plants and the whole process that these, like a structure, like a living being, like a tree, bears fruit for me to live. It's like magic. I kind of feel.
Yeah, it is. It's really cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
I loved your guys' conversation last week. That was so awesome.
it was
So,
amazing.
yeah,
Yeah.
no, the
Yeah.
things that you guys talk about are the things that excite me about raw food. And there's so much, as far as health and nutrition and, the environment and the ethics, but there's also so much mystery surrounding the raw food lifestyle. And it's like, that's what really got me excited because I was already vegan. And then I sort of kind of found out about raw food by default. And it just opened up this whole new realm of mystery to me. And I was already excited enough being vegan, but then I found out about raw vegan. I was like, oh my God, my family's gonna hate this. But
Yes.
yeah. So I got really, really into it. And I was just so excited. The first time I had raw food was at a little cafe in Vancouver, Canada called Eternal Abundance. And it was just recommended to me because my wisdom teeth were cutting through and it was painful and they were kind of getting infected. So I couldn't have any sugar. If I put anything with any kind of sugar in my mouth, it was just painful. So my friend recommended going to Eternal Abundance because of the raw cafe in there. And I just started eating raw every day while I was visiting Vancouver. And the pain went away. As soon as I ate the meal and the food hit my stomach, the infection started going down and I could feel the pain leave and it was hurting for days. So I know it was the food, but it was a really unique
Yeah. How
experience.
quickly was it for you, Shell?
Yeah.
That's because Shelly, yours was kind of the same, right? So you're saying your wisdom teeth, like straight away, you can feel, and I believe I'm the same. Being on raw foods, you can feel the changes in your body. But Shelly, you told me the same sort of thing when you, with your fingers, they just started deflating.
It's crazy. Yeah, like my fingers were so swollen for so many weeks. And then when I switched to raw food, I had like a chilblains condition in my fingers. When I switched to raw food, they started deflating so fast, the inflammation was just leaving the body. Like within the first week, my hands um, were deflated by like 80%. Like my fingers started to get really thin and there was
So
no
why were they?
redness.
Why were your hands puffy?
Why were they puffy?
Yeah. Why? What was the condition causing that?
Yeah, so you know what? It's actually kind of a mystery because I was already eating like a pretty healthy diet. I was doing raw till four for like a month before that. So maybe my body started detoxing something, but it didn't know where to take out the toxins. So it just started like filling up in my hands. I have no idea. It was
That's
very
actually
mysterious.
yeah. I think you might be right. That sort of seems like it makes sense. And then you have like you go into full raw foods and it just flushes everything out. So
That's probably what happened. Yeah.
I
yeah,
also I feel with raw foods as well when you start to have them, you become, it's almost like your body is like clear. Like I can't explain it, but anything that, so I was eating like you, Shelley, very high raw. And that's when I noticed that what I'd had since I was 8, the chronic fatigue, would flare up when I had something like dry roasted pumpkin or steamed cauliflower. But I think you need that high contrast of like vibing high from higher level of raw foods that you really then anything you put in which isn't raw foods, you really feel it.
Yeah.
Does
yeah.
that the
I
density, the
totally
heavy,
agree.
it even like it just something as simple, and I know we're all sensitive at different like levels, but even something like just steamed cauliflower for me, I was back in bed, I couldn't get up. And so, but I think I needed to be high raw to finally see that that cooked food is really bringing me down.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the high
What
raw
I
like
mhm.
the high raw kind of phase can be really fun and exciting though too because you're kind of getting that burst you know, incrementally in certain levels, and it's really exciting actually.
I don't think anyone should skip the process. I mean, the process for me
Yeah.
was I was very, very ill. I went paleo because a family member was. I ended up even sicker again. Once I found I became vegan, um, I pretty much continued like on my journey. It was like, and then I went into kind of high raw by just following what my body wanted, and then raw. But I don't advise anyone to wake up and think just go raw vegan, because I do think there's a process of, I enjoyed as much as I was still very, very sick when I was vegan, I enjoyed that these increments weren't kind of like, you know, a high contrast. Like I like that they're little steps into being what I call more enlightened even. I think there's
Hmm.
value in, you know, if I was to advise anyone what to do, I'd say just start eating more raw foods. But you want to think about being vegan before you go from, say, a sad diet to being, you know, a fruitarian or something. I think that there's a lot of value in, you know, enjoying the journey.
I think
Exactly.
that's the best
Yeah.
advice. Yeah, absolutely. And then it's also good to kind of train, like to learn some recipes too, and start figuring out what you like and what you don't like instead of just, okay, I'm going to do it. I have to do it because then I'm going to be perfect, right?
Yes.
Like we're seeing a lot of that in the community. And
So,
people just jump into it without really like training themselves how to, you know, training themselves in the kitchen, really. My friend used the analogy. He's like, you don't just go into a boxing match first day without going to a trainer and maybe learning boxing or some martial arts. You get your ass kicked, right? So,
yes.
and it made a
Yes, that's
lot
a
of
good
sense. I was
analogy.
like, yes, that's a good analogy. Or like a football game or, anything, right? Like you don't show up without training. Um,
No.
but you can really start including raw foods at any point, right? I mean, an apple is raw
Yes.
food, a banana is raw food,
Yes.
but
Yes.
and then that's the way I did it. So I had that experience in Vancouver. I ate the raw food at this amazing cafe. The chef there was so cool. He actually ended up being a friend of a friend. We found that out while we were talking.
Oh,
Um, yeah, yeah, and he was a really cool guy. He was actually
that's,
friends with the Beastie Boys, and the Beastie Boys were
oh, wow.
in town. Yeah, Aaron was friends with the Beastie Boys, and they were in town the week before, and they
Oh,
were eating
wow.
at his cafe because one of them was a raw vegan.
Oh,
And
really?
yeah, yeah, and they were all talking about it. My friend Lori was there when they were there, and she was
Oh,
sitting there
wow.
talking to Mike D and having lunch, but she didn't know it was him. And then when he left, he goes, "That's Mike D," and she was like, "Oh my God!" But
What an
yeah, so
experience.
yeah, yeah, I didn't get to meet them, but I was there about a week later. So I'm gonna have to
Still.
put my phone in here, so
Yeah.
I'll be
All
jiggling around a bit. But yeah, so there was that cafe, and I got to eat there for a week. And because it was a cafe, and I was stuck in a city with I didn't have my own kitchen, so I'm gonna eat out. And I just chose the raw vegan places because Eternal
wow.
Abundance was on this street that had like 12 vegan restaurants within like an 8 block
Wow.
stretch.
It's
Yeah, I
amazing.
might be exaggerating a bit, but there was a lot of restaurants, and a lot of them were raw for some reason, or they had raw options.
It's
But
incredible.
because
Wow.
I was
That is
able to get,
incredible.
yeah,
Yeah.
Vancouver's actually it's pretty good for vegan food, actually. Yeah.
Oh,
So we
that's
do
really
have
good.
one or two cities in Canada that have it. But because I was able to just eat there and not worry about it, and I could either eat there in a different place, so I just chose that place because it was taking my swelling down, my inflammation. There's no
Yeah.
sugar,
Wow.
and so because of that, I really got a full solid week on like full raw, but really, really good raw. So I had the best of the best raw, and then I got to do it consecutively day after day, which would be kind of rare and hard for certain people to kind of just stumble into that situation. So I guess I got kind of blessed and lucky. But the
Yeah.
next day, after the day I woke, the day after I woke up, looked in the mirror, and my eyes were just shining bright. Like I could
Yeah.
see it, I could just see it. My eyes were more lubricated. And then my friends who were there were actually they were reporting the same thing. We basically all brightened up. We had shining bright eyes, and our digestion was perfect. It was actually really cool.
It's
It
incredible how
is.
fast your body was like, cleansing and detoxing. That's beautiful.
Yeah, we got really lucky, and we all loved it. So it was a group of my group of friends and I were all in Vancouver, and we were all basically eating there. So we all kind of, when we went back home, we picked up a raw food book, and we're just like, yeah, let's do this. We're gonna do this, and we all kind of did it together as a group. None of us, you know, committed to full raw right away. We weren't like, okay, we have to do this tomorrow or else I'm gonna hate myself kind of thing, right?
I think that's so important. I think
Yeah.
so. I started a bit of health coaching this week, and what I've really noticed, it plays into what you were talking about, something you were saying before, and that is a lot of these people are still trying to follow other people. Like as you were saying, you can go into the boxing match not trained, but a lot of people are going in almost overtrained and don't know what to do. So they go in and they're like, they're really hungry and they're like, oh, I feel like, if someone like me who's healing, I was, 37 kilograms, I needed to bulk on weight, I needed to heal my way. So I was having a lot of avocados, sort of like more salady type things. And there's a lot of people I'm speaking to who are going, oh, but Dr. Morse said don't do this, or this person said don't do this. And they've actually got so much anxiety and fear, they're not really healing at all. And so I gave them the example
Yeah.
of even us three. We are all raw vegans. We are all very different in what we eat. Yet
Mhm.
we found our journey. And I think I love what you were just saying about how you came home and never committed straight away. You said, you're still enjoying, you're going to get in the kitchen and you're going to make food. And the more you enjoy what I call the picking of the food, the creating of the food, the ingesting of food, you then reap so much from that whole process. And that's what I think is important. It's not, you don't need to read a book and follow that as a Bible like that. There's no one raw veganism for everyone is what I guess I'm getting at.
No, and everybody's has different opinions and different ideas. Um, but I mean, for me, it's basically, is it a plant? Like it starts with compassion, and it's like I'm vegan for the ethical, and then it just pretty much goes from there. So I mean, everybody's got a different idea of what's good and what's bad, and we definitely have been seeing that a lot lately, especially in the past couple of years, because everybody's like, oh no, don't do that, or don't do this, or don't do that. And like you said, it's giving people system overload because
Yeah.
everybody says that something's bad. I mean, I've got one guy who
Yes.
says Irish moss is super, super bad. Don't ingest it. And then other people are, scared of, there's a few people who have been scared of Irish moss lately. And then I had some guy on my live the other day tell me that spirulina doesn't occur naturally in nature, and that it's lab grown. But it was kind of funny because I had my jar of E3 Live, so I just quickly busted it out, and I was like,
Love that stuff.
yeah, and I was like, there's the lake that my algae grows in. And he was
Look,
like, oh, I must be misinformed. And then I did do a little talk about that right then and there, because I was like, yeah, there's a lot of people just, and I think they kind of feel cool and they kind of feel trendy. Like if they find out that a certain food or a certain ingredient's not good for you, and then they want to tell you, because it's
Yeah.
fun to be right and it's fun to teach people things. But you know, with all
Yeah,
these
everybody
different
does what their
ideas,
bodies feel best.
I
yeah,
think that's right, Shelly. Like, you got to do what's right for your body. So, I mean, when I started this, I was having nuts. I don't have nuts anymore, but it doesn't mean either that I won't go back to nuts. I don't have Irish moss at the moment, but it doesn't mean I won't go back to it. I just found that my body just needed real basics for a while. So, and I think, and I like, it doesn't I still follow people who use all these things. I love looking at recipes. I think it's all amazing. But it's like that saying, you know, I've come on my journey and my body at this time needs, you know, what I'm giving it. And I don't think people should be getting up and even following what I'm doing. Do you know what I mean? Like, because they're in a different climate, they've had different experiences in life. They need a whole heap of different things. So I think the talk's all really great to have. It's just really sad when people go, oh, that's not raw, I'm not eating it. Like off the table, that's been, you know, processed in some way that I'm not, you know, that's discounted. It's not black and white for everybody. It's a whole mixed bag.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm obsessed with olives, and I understand
Ooh,
that they're, you know, a lot of olives in today's world are cooked tons of vinegar and salt. So I try to get olives that are, you know, locally made, not with vinegar, but I'm addicted to them. And then I remember someone told me that like they're toxic, you shouldn't eat them. So yeah, just do what your body feels good with. And eventually your body will change and you might start craving other things, right? So it all just
yeah.
Mhm.
how you're feeling in the moment.
So I was told with the
Absolutely.
olives, so because I was struggling at the start with, because I think basically if it's raw and you eat it and it agrees with you, then it's okay to have. But I was looking at olives and I didn't realize that you know that they were sitting in like a brine or something. And someone, one of my friends is Greek, and her grandmother told me you take the olives, you put them in water for 24 hours, and you change the water after 24 hours, and you do this for 5 days consecutively. Then after that, you just serve them with lemon juice, a bit of salt if you have salt. And I was like, and she used to be a cook, and she said that's what they do in Greece. And I was like, oh my god, I haven't done it yet, but it's interesting to know that she said that's the best way you could ever do it. And I was like, cool, that's very raw.
Yeah, that's rare because the olives that are here, I'm in a beautiful country here in Eastern Europe, and everyone makes their own olives, but they look super cooked. Like some of them are really mushy and
Mm.
stuff, so
Yeah.
cook them.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
I never thought about it. I just thought they were raw, but yeah.
yeah.
Do
Mm.
they have
Interesting.
a high content of fat at all, or what are they made of? Olives. They do because they have olive
Yeah.
oil, right?
It
Oh yeah, if
depends
you take an
on the olive.
olive and squeeze it, it'll drip oil.
Wow. Well, that's
Yeah.
I'm
It's
interested
so
in this, Shelley, because I
good.
know you hadn't been having any fats for a bit.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so I've been going like extremely, extremely low fat, almost no fat at all, and that's what I feel best with at the moment. Like it's so funny when I used to eat everything, you know, when I was still eating a vegan diet, I would eat so much fat. I would put coconut oil in everything. And now I can't even think of it. Like I get nauseous after eating like a walnut or two. So I guess my body's just going through like a process where I just don't need a lot of fats at the moment. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah,
At
I
least you're
ditched the nut.
listening.
Yeah. Yeah, me
Yeah.
too, basically. It's been about a year and a half, and I'm occasionally I'll do sprouted almonds because my cakes have sprouted almonds, and my friends like my cakes. But um, other than that,
Amazing.
They do look
yeah.
amazing, I have to say there. And whenever I said to somebody I was talking to today, everyone just like went and looked at your recipes. They're just so impressed. Like it's not just
Oh,
that they're raw, it's the art and the thought and the care that goes into creating things like that.
yeah. Well, there's a story behind that, and that I'll
Yeah.
have to pick up where I left off. With the story of my friends and how we all became raw. But yeah, basically we got home, we got a raw food book, and we all got together as a group and we said, okay, we're gonna do one raw recipe a week. And on Friday, that's gonna be our night, and we're gonna like have our movies and play our music and do our, whatever we do in the backyard type things, right? And
Yeah.
we'd kind of have these parties. Like we'd always have people over. We basically always had people at our house, and we'd always be feeding them vegan food. But then we just decided let's do a raw night, and then let's just see what kind of raw recipes we could come up with. So we do one raw recipe a week. Sometimes they're good, sometimes they're kind of not very good, but we just take it as a learning experience. And within a year or so, like most of us were sort of becoming raw chefs because we'd all kind of deviate from certain recipes. we'd get our own ideas, and then we'd be trying to outdo ourselves, and we'd be trying to kind of compete with each other a little bit. Not like, super obnoxious competition, but just sort of trying to like compete to make the best thing we could. And we'd be raising the bar every week. And then just eventually we got pretty good at raw food. I think I was the first one to actually say like, okay, now I'm only eating raw food. And then my other friend Trav, he started doing it like a couple months later. He became completely raw. So it was pretty fun. And we were already really, really into making the vegan recipes. So
I was going to ask that. So
yeah,
you were
yeah.
a vegan, like you were good at, right.
Yeah, I was good at vegan food. So I got good at vegan food because my group of friends they were just amazing vegan chefs. Um, yeah, no, and they taught me how to season, how to texture everything, and we were also eating out at a lot of Asian restaurants, and we had kind of become friends with all the chefs and owners, and they taught us things. They taught us so much about flavoring food and just what they were doing. So there's certain dim sum recipes that I kind of know how to do. Certain things I want to make raw and turn raw again that I just haven't got the chance to do. Certain recipes, especially certain dim sum recipes. Like I really want to make sumai really bad, but I just haven't gotten around to it because I'm doing all these other recipes. So
Yeah,
I kind of
there are
wish I
no
could just,
limits.
yeah, I just wish I could do that all day long. And almost feels like I need to be feeding other people because I could make all these recipes for myself, but then I can't eat all that food. So I'd honestly just be making food for the artistic aspect of it and probably composting it or throwing it out or
No.
something, trying to get it
Can't you
out.
freeze it? Can't you freeze it and have it another day?
Yeah, the cakes freeze really well. Yeah. I think when I was making my ebook, one or two meals just didn't even get eaten because I
Wow.
had all these
Yeah,
different
I think
meals
I'm
in my
coming
fridge.
over.
Definitely. Yeah, definitely
Oh,
welcome. You'd love Banff. Banff is really nice.
Hmm.
Yeah.
never
Wow.
say never. I can picture you there, Shelly.
Yeah, I can picture you with me there. I can
Maybe we'll
picture all of
both
us
come
together.
over.
Yeah.
Both come
Yeah,
over for a
that'd be
meal.
awesome. That'd be
Would you
awesome.
Yeah.
ever open a restaurant? Would you ever
I would
open a
love to.
restaurant?
I've always kind of wanted to. Um, yeah, I've always wanted to, and I still do want to. So that'll probably happen at some point. And I've been thinking about that a lot lately. Um, and it's kind of funny because I'll present the idea to some other raw foodists, and they'll be like, that's a lot of work. And then I'll
Mhm.
usually explain that I'm kind of bored without work. So, I mean, what else would I
It's just
really
you're
do?
kind of saying it. You're kind of saying that's what you want to do anyway, because you're saying that, you've got the recipes that you can make, you enjoy making it all day, like as in you can make it all day.
Yeah,
And then I just think all the people that would get introduced to it, like maybe someone would come to your cafe or restaurant like you that has an ailment and just can't,
yeah,
and finds their enlightenment. Like it's all things possible.
yeah. No, that's exactly what I want to do, and it's because like eating at that restaurant in Vancouver, like it did so much for me. And then I think back to
Yeah.
when I first became vegan and my group of friends, we'd all go to this place called Buddha's Veggie, and it was this amazing Buddhist vegan restaurant. And we'd all go, and they had these huge round tables, must have been at least 15 seats per table, and we'd have the whole table full of kids that are all vegan and eating vegan food. And those
Wow.
places, they meant so much to us, like when we were eating there, it was just so exciting, like we would get high off the aura of just the energy of being in there and being there together. and it was really magical actually. And I remember that walking out of Buddha's Veggie and just that glowing feeling of peace that I had. And I remember not getting that when I'd go and eat some omnivorous or just whatever other meals that I'd be eating. And sometimes I'd like try to get that experience somewhere else that wasn't totally vegan. And then I'd have, you know, something that was kind of healthy-ish, but with animal products in it. And I wouldn't get that peace and that glowing auric type feeling. And I think it was just, well, it's the fact that there's no animals being killed. It's just the group energy too, and just that feeling is amazing. And I think that's why I like the idea of doing a restaurant, because I could share that to someone else. So
Yeah,
yeah.
you should
But
definitely do
imagine
that.
that, yeah, the vibe. I'm just like listening to that and the vibe that you'd be around all day. So if it's just one meal you had with your friends, if you've got people coming in all day, imagine the vibe in that restaurant of people, you know, you're creating, they're enjoying, and then that glow that you do get after having raw foods.
Yeah, yeah, no, it is. I think that would be really just amazing to give to people, and just to have that place, right? And I think vegans, like, it's good for us to have gathering places where vegans hang out. Even if they're not complete vegan places, say it's a grocery store with a salad bar and you know, salad bar cafe, that can be the place too. But yeah, I just think that would be really good.
Yeah,
It sure
exactly.
would.
This journey
It
can
d-
be very lonely, you know, like, so
Yeah,
yeah, having a community of like-minded people who follow the same passions is so important. Like it's so important, you know?
yeah, that's why we've been doing our little hiking potluck type things.
Oh, that's so
Um,
beautiful.
Wow.
and I'm kind of going through the process of trying to reconnect some of the people that I used to hang out with. My friend Trav's been coming out, and my friend Ryan, and my friend Travis has two little girls now, so they come out and do the raw picnics with us, and it's just really awesome. So I'm just kind of piecing that community together, because for a while we kind of lost each other. Some of us moved out of the country, some of us had kids and got married, and not me, but um, some people. um, so yeah, so I just been trying to get everyone back together, and we have really, really nice scenery and some good trails around here, so we've
How
just been trying to get out
beautiful.
into nature. Yeah,
Amazing.
There's something, the connection to nature just becomes so strong. Like you just want to be around it all the time. I love
yeah,
what you said about how your friends' kids come along with you. I think I wish so much when I was a child I had been introduced to raw foods, not just said eat fruit, but somebody said, you know, not just eat your carrots with your dinner, but eat raw foods. Like it rubs off on my nieces, and I just think if that seed had been planted, I could have found the foods earlier. So I love
yeah,
hearing when kids are out experiencing, and especially in a group gathering like that, where it's like the vibe is so great, magical, really.
yeah, yeah, it is. Yeah, it
That's
really is.
fantastic. I love it.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah, there's something really special about raw food, like you mentioned. Like you feel this glow. And I'm mainly eating like a fruit diet, and I feel that glow like crazy right now, but yeah, I don't know how to explain it. Like people who have never done it before, you can't really describe it to them. Like they just stare at you and they don't really
It probably
understand what
sounds
you're talking
crazy. Yeah,
about.
it probably
So
sounds crazy.
yeah,
Yeah,
like
but
when I'm
when you're
talking to
feeling
you
it,
guys, yeah, it's such a good feeling to know that there's other people who are experiencing the same thing. So like I'm not crazy. I'm not alone in this.
No,
oh no,
it's
it
so
feels
amazing.
good. Yeah. So
I love
where
it.
So I know you're in the UK and then you're in Eastern Europe somewhere, but are you in London
No, I'm
or
in
in England?
Australia.
Oh, you're in Australia. Why did I think you were in the UK?
Yes. I don't
Who
know.
the
Do I
hell?
sound like I'm from London? Maybe. I don't
I
know.
don't know. I think Australians and British people sound exactly the same.
Really? Oh,
Yeah. Well, like the town I'm in right now is 40% Australian.
I was
Wow.
gonna
So
say it would be. Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
Banff is 40% Australian. And there's a lot of British people here too, and I can't really I can tell them apart if I'm talking to them for a whole evening, but if it's just like the first,
Yeah.
couple sentences, I can't really tell the difference. It's kind of funny.
Sure.
But I guess it's kind of like us,
Yeah.
I probably sound American to people or, vice versa.
You do. I can't tell Americans and Canadians apart.
Oh, there's
I
really not much
can.
of
I
it.
can tell them apart, but the accent. I can't tell the accent apart. But like, I mean,
Yeah.
some people can tell accents from, like New York or, Mississippi or, like
Oh,
different
big
places
time.
really easily. I'm not someone who can do that really easily.
Yeah.
Not
No,
a forte of mine.
there's a lot of accents in both Canada and the United States, and they're all very different. You'll get someone from Texas with like a really strong Southern drawl, and then you'll get someone from Minnesota, and they sound more Canadian than I do. So, and then on
Yeah.
the east coast of Canada, you've got really strong French accents, and then on the other side of French speaking Canada, there's maritime Canada, and they sound like Popeye the Sailor Man, or you know,
Really?
oh
How
yeah, they
funny. I'm going
do,
to
and
look
they
out
have
for
some
these people when I
slang
go to
words.
Canada. I'll
Yeah,
be
they
looking
have
out for
some
Popeye.
slang words. So instead of saying "Where are you at?" or "Where are you," they say "Where you to."
Really?
Yeah, they say "Where you to," and they say what else do they say? They have some really funny sayings, and they have a really funny accent. Um,
Wow.
yeah.
Interesting. Shelly,
I
you're from Canada, aren't you?
Yeah, so I was born in Canada, but I left when I was like a year and a half, so I don't really remember anything.
Did you grow up in Did you grow up in America?
Yeah, in Atlanta, Georgia for 8 years, and then from there we were like moving through different states. Yeah. And then we
Yeah.
moved out of the country and lived in many different countries. So yeah.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's
I just
crazy.
really, I really feel, Shirley, it's like part of your destiny to, it's just, I feel like I feel it come off you that you have never, like, that you like love traveling and that you do travel a lot. Like, it just, I feel like that openness of you, it's all part and parcel. It was like a
100%.
gift you were meant to get.
Yeah, I definitely feel like it's a huge part. It made up who I am actually, because if I would have still like, of course you can live in one place your entire life, right? But personally, if I would have still been in Atlanta, Georgia, where I grew up in, I don't think I would have ever like come across what I'm doing right now. So, yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you going to move soon or are you staying there?
You know what? I have no idea. I'm in Montenegro right now. I don't know if you guys have heard of this country before. Um,
Yeah.
we came here for a vacation. Yeah, so it's next to Croatia. It's like Eastern Europe next to Croatia,
Okay.
Serbia,
I
across
hear
the.
Croatia is gorgeous.
Yeah, where?
Yeah. I've heard that Croatia is absolutely beautiful.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
Here, yeah, it's very similar here to Croatia, and I have no idea how long I'm going to stay here because we planned when we came here, we thought we were going to stay for like a little bit because we were escaping the chaos in America. So we came here, super
Yeah.
peaceful here, and we don't really want to leave because the rest of the world is
Okay.
on fire right now. You know, um,
No, it is. I'm about to leave. Like I might have to leave in the next couple days. And I
it's
wasn't
really
even actually, yeah, and I wasn't planning on it. So,
Oh,
yeah.
I hope that
yeah.
all
You should
works out.
come here. It's so peaceful here. This is like the most peaceful country in the world. I'm just saying.
Really?
Oh,
That's
it's
good to
so
know. It's good to
beautiful.
know. Because I'm sort of, open to countries that are not going crazy right now. I mean,
Yeah,
Mexico
this
was
country
pretty
is
good this winter. Yeah. I shouldn't have come back to Canada, but I had my snowboarding pass. I had a pass to one of the like best ski hills in the world. So I came back basically to
Mm.
snowboard. So I traded my freedom for
Oh,
snowboarding basically. It's brutal. And everyone in Costa Rica was going berserk. They were trying to stop me from leaving. They were like, "No, don't." And everybody was trying to talk me out of it. And it was like putting me through anxiety, huge anxiety, because I
Oh,
wanted to snowboard. I wanted to come back home. I was upset that I had to leave Canada because I don't want to leave Canada at all. It's a really, really good
yeah.
yeah.
country. Really good
It
country
is.
with really, really good people, and I'm very happy here. But with what's going on with all of the problems with our government, and they've
Yeah.
apparently they want to put another travel ban on. So they lifted the travel ban about a month ago. So I've been trying to get my shit together so I can leave the country again. And they just announced today that they're going to try and put another travel ban on. So I might have to get out like in the next week if I'm going to
Yeah,
get out. So it's pretty
that's
intense though,
crazy.
because I
That
mean, I
is a
have a
lot.
team here, I have my friends. We do our raw picnics. Like it's a great country, you know.
It's
It's
And
just
amazing.
that,
Yeah, I saw the
yeah.
pictures. It's amazing.
And
yeah,
also, as you said, you're growing your community there. Like, it's raw vegan communities aren't the easiest thing to grow, but it sounds like you've
no,
got one.
yeah, yeah. Well, I have my friends from Calgary, so it's a city an hour east of us. So that's where I've lived most of my life. So now
Okay.
just outside of Calgary, but in the mountains. So Calgary sits on the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, and then I'm just right
Okay.
in the Rocky Mountains on the front lying range. And yeah, it would suck to leave them. It really would.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
I
always
mean,
listen to your heart, because people are going to try to, keep you in one place, but if you really feel
yeah.
like you have to go and it's much safer for you, then just do that. You can always come back. This stuff is gonna have to end, because people are waking up. So.
Well, that's what I was thinking. It's like if I do leave, say I have to be in Costa Rica for 4 years. I can always come, hopefully 4 years down the road, things will simmer down and I can come back to Canada, right? I mean, and if not, maybe not, right? Like my family came over from the Ukraine in the 1900s because Stalin was
Wow.
going berserk and, you know, executing everybody
Wow.
basically. So that's why we're here and we left Ukraine and never looked back, right? So I might have to do that again and leave Canada, which is pretty wild and kind of lame. But at the same time, when I was in Costa Rica, there's so many cool vegans and people honestly appreciate what I do more outside of Canada, which is
I
kind
saw
of
some of your
heartbreaking.
photos. I saw some of your photos when you'd been there. And look, I mean, you could always see, I know it's sad that you'd be leaving Canada, but what an opportunity you might just walk into a whole new magical world. Like, that's what
Oh
life's all
yeah.
about.
Yeah, well, I was in Dominical most of the time in Costa Rica, and that community, like, they were so good to me. Everybody wanted me to
Oh,
stay, and they wanted me to start up a food business there. And I
that's like
guess,
on a beach, isn't it?
Yeah,
yeah, it's
what's the
on the
name of
beach.
the community? Yeah.
Dominical. So Dominical is by far the coolest place in Costa Rica, and
Wow.
it's yeah, it's where all the raw vegans live. It's got the best climate for growing fruit, and
Oh,
it's got
wow.
a community that grows exotic fruit and is really into it. So
Wow.
that's pretty cool.
It does sound cool. It sounds amazing.
Yeah. But yeah, it's exciting. I might be leaving again, or it seems like I'll probably
Yeah.
leave again. So, so
That's
yeah.
amazing. Wow.
Oh, I hope it goes well.
It should. I mean, last time was pretty fun. I mean, I almost shouldn't have come back, but I did. I got a good last couple months in my season of my season in, and it was pretty fun.
Might be time for a whole new adventure.
Yeah, yeah,
For
basically
sure.
that's kind of what I'm gearing up to do. Well, I was planning to leave anyways, and then now they've lifted the travel ban, so and then this building that I live in just got sold, so I have to leave here.
Yeah.
Um, well, they're trying to force it, yeah. Someone says, are they forcing this
Yeah.
in Canada? They're trying to. I didn't take it. I haven't taken it, and it's so they introduced the travel ban last November. I booked my ticket immediately and got out before that date, and then reluctantly came back so I could snowboard. And now I think they're trying to put it back in. Right now, they're trying to say that you need to get get tested or screened or whatever to enter Canada. So they're trying to do it again, basically.
Yeah.
So
It's crazy.
Hard.
In America, it's also really bad at the moment, right? But
it
Europe
is,
is
yeah.
also, there's a lot of countries in Europe that are like going crazy right now, but this country, what's special about it is it's not in the European Union, and it was going to be. And the European Union is like a whole corrupt system. So that's probably
Well,
why
yeah,
it's not that bad here.
that's the start of it, is the European Union. And it was kind of, so my one of my friends a long time ago told me that they were trying to do the North American Union. And this was just after they started announcing the EU and the EU started, piecing itself together. My friend said, yeah, well, they're going to try and do that with Canada. So they want to amalgamate Canada, the US, and Mexico and turn it into one homogenous
Wow.
country, right? So,
Thank God that didn't happen.
Yeah.
And I don't think it's
yeah,
gonna happen because, looking at where the world is headed, out there on the mainstream media, it looks like it's the end of the world. But in real life, we're headed towards like a beautiful new world. So I don't think that's gonna happen. I don't see that happening.
that's good. That would be really good if
Yeah.
it didn't happen.
I think we also have to remember that each of us gets to live and project our own realities. So as much as all of this is going on, we have to hold true. And part of that new world, that, everything getting better, is in essence, we need to remember that, and I think raw food plays a huge part in that, where you get to see that experience, that magic that you feel. But we really, in these times where things get difficult, need to hold on to that fact that,
Yeah,
as much as, the media, wherever we see this chaos going on, we still get to live. No, it's not our own bubble, but we get to project, even as much as, starting a raw cafe, or helping people understand raw foods. It's all projecting the goodness that there is in the world. And, I love to stay true to that, because I just think that's a huge part of the raw food healing as well.
absolutely. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's like a whole, what's it called? Like everything is connected to everything. So when you start eating this way, you start thinking about things that you've never thought of before. You start having new realizations and stuff. So yeah.
You do, like, and it's almost like I feel things when I've been on this diet change so quickly. So it's like I'm growing, evolving almost at a very, very rapid pace during enjoying this way of life. Whereas before, I mean, though I was quite sick, I still, when I've been well, felt I was on a merry-go-round. Whereas now I feel like I'm constantly being uplifted. So I love to I love to hold that true even in these times.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Someone
think
put a
you go through.
question about
Yeah.
Georgia. I'm not really sure. Like, I've never been to Georgia. Um, yeah. My mom is originally from Belarus, but I don't think that's close to Georgia. So I
Yeah,
don't really know. Yeah,
yeah.
countries that aren't in the EU are definitely doing better than countries that are. Um,
Well, the euro
but
took a big hit too the other day.
oh,
So the US dollar
So
is now more valuable than the euro. So,
yeah.
so that's probably
okay,
another
so
reason to not be in the EU.
Hmm. I
there's
think you
another
have
question
to,
there.
yeah.
There's another question. I'll just read it out. It says, any ideas you would like to share upon opening a raw vegan cafe? I think it's for you, Daniel.
Oh, any ideas? Well, see, I can't do it here, which is you know, kind of lame. There's just not really that big of a vegan community where I live. So, I mean, I could potentially do it here, but I wouldn't really have that much of a clientele base. So I'd probably have to go somewhere else and do it. So,
Mm.
When I saw, you can correct me if I'm wrong, I saw some photos of you in Costa Rica, and you were, I think, not well, sharing your food, that you were
people
creating
were
there. Was that?
people were getting me to make them stuff.
Yes. So would you ever
I
do
was getting
that?
flooded with DMs. I had like a whole clientele base when I lived in Dominical.
Yeah.
That's why
I was
people were
getting
so
that
mad that I was
vibe.
leaving. People were pissed, and everyone was like, putting so much pressure on me, but I wanted to come back and snowboard so bad. Like I wasn't ready to give this up yet. And it was putting me under huge anxiety. My last week in Costa Rica, I
Really?
was like nauseous and like, oh yeah, yeah, it was bumming me out. And then I had to go to Mexico because, see, I didn't know this, but Canada, they weren't going to let me fly from Toronto to Calgary.